We are going live. So it says it's setting up your meeting for Facebook Live. Okay. We're live. So let me see if we're on here. We're hopping on early to give you guys some time to hop on before we dive into our topic for tonight. And we are live. So I know I'm super excited to be here with you guys.
Hi, everyone.
My nose is itching. All right, so we already have one comment from our coaches. So as you're hopping on, make sure to let us know that you're here by saying hello, giving us some sort of reaction. We love to know when folks hop on. Now we're hopping on early just in case we were having any kind of technical difficulties, and also to let you guys find us.
Looks like maybe a couple others have jumped on.
Great. Welcome, everybody. Miss Dana. Hello.
Hi, Dana.
Carson City.
Oh, and Bob's here. Hey, Bob. Welcome.
Hey, Bob. Great to have you on. Forgot I had my dishwasher on. Had to turn that off. You all wouldn't have that noise. So Pamela and Tana are on, and I have right at the top of the hour. You ready to go, Jen?
Absolutely. I see Kate's here too.
Great, Kate. And so hi, everybody. Coach Jennifer C., as well as our other coach, Jennifer. So we're really excited to be doing this event with you guys together. And remember, as you guys are watching, make sure to let us know that you're here by commenting, posting, or reacting so that we know that you're here and who's on the line. And of course, we want you guys to interact with us. So make sure to keep sharing in the comments. And I don't know about you, Jen, but I know I've been really, really excited to be doing this event with you specifically. Not that our other coaches aren't fabulous, but we have a little bit of a history, right, Jen?
We do. So, Jen, you and I have shared an office together for many years. And so I'm really excited just to partner up with you and be able to do this Facebook Live tonight. It feels like old times a little bit.
Yes, yeah. So for those of you, Jen and I were office mates actually in our clinic in Lexington, Kentucky for almost a decade. We were just side by side. So here we are side by side again in our kitchens. And so we are really thrilled to be here. And tonight we are talking about our HMR Entrees. And there's so many different benefits to using our entrees. And we actually took a poll. So we put a poll in our Facebook group to really see what benefits are most important to all of you. And this is what we saw from folks. And so they're quick and easy, and you can take them anywhere. You can heat them up in 60 seconds or even eat them cold if you've not done that. Automatic portion control, especially today when portions are just out of control. We have it calorie as well as portion controlled, and possibly, very helpful. Another benefit that you guys mentioned, important for helping you to lose weight and also managing your calories. So just about 25 calories per ounce for these entrees. So lots of great benefits. And we'd love for each of you, as you guys are hopping on, to share, some of your favorite things about the entrees, the benefits that you find, and of course, how you utilize them to help support you in whatever part of this journey that you're in, phase 1 or phase 2. And for me, my favorite part for the entrees is because they're so easy, and I don't have to take the time to find a recipe necessarily. Go to the store, get the protein or the grain or the vegetables and prep them, and then cook them, and then eat them. It just takes so much time, whereas the entrees are so quick and easy. So that's really the appeal for me for these entrees, is the convenience and the ease. And what are your favorite things, Jen, about the entrees?
Similar to you, Jen, I love how easy and convenient they are. Like so many folks that I know are probably watching and joining us just with a hectic schedule between work and family. I love having something that I can just grab. And it only, like you said, it just takes 60 seconds to heat up if you do it in the microwave. But the other benefit that's really important to me is that when I have the entrees, it automatically has me increasing my vegetable servings. They're just so versatile and easy to combine with lots and lots of variety with the veggies. And that's been very helpful for me because I can be really full, have a nice big plate of food, and yet really have a low calorie meal that helps me manage my weight.
Yeah, right. And I forgot this one, with you speaking of families and busy schedule, sometimes when I haven't planned very well and thought about dinner, my boys like the entrees too. And so they'll just have either a penne pasta or a turkey chili. They like it over a baked potato, or my oldest does. And so that's another easy thing too. It's maybe not just a strategy for you, but something that your whole family could take part of as well.
Yep, absolutely. We've had a lot of folks join us. We've got Diane, Alicia, Pamela, Jennifer, Sherry, Susan. Hey, Susan. Sherry's here. Welcome, everybody. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, and we have, did you say, yeah, Sherry and Jennifer, a lot of our regulars, which is fantastic to see. And we have Rick, our partner in crime. He says it's great to see our two Jennifers together. It's great to be together. And wonderful. So make sure you guys are continuing to comment. And Alicia's 3-year-old likes to eat the entrees too, the penne pasta with cauliflower rice. I haven't done it over cauliflower rice. I'll have to have my little one do that one, because they love the cauliflower rice with the sweet potato. So I'm sure that may go good with the penne pasta.
Yep.
Okay.
Great,
yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, I'm seeing some comments too. I see Sherry says in phase 1, she really appreciates how tasty they are and how well they combine with one another. And we're really going to be talking about that in tonight's session. So what we want to do, our goal is really to talk about all of the different things that you can do with the HMR entrees. We all love variety, and it's so important to have a lot of different ways to prepare your entrees so that you really have some meals and some snacks that you can look forward to. It helps protect dieting momentum in phase 1. And of course, you can use entrees strategically long-term to help you manage your calories and manage your weight. So we hope that you'll please be jotting down any notes that you hear, any recipe ideas that you want to try that we talk about. Please share, again, like some of your favorites. And I don't know, maybe even take this time and start your grocery list.
Right. Yeah, you may be hungry. You may want to make some tonight.
Or just come on over, because we've made a lot of stuff that we're going to Here's what we'll cover tonight. First, we want to talk about double entrees. We also will then move on to entrees with low-calorie add-ins or entrees with other HMR foods, and then entrees with vegetables, right? So as we go through, again, please make sure to comment. Tell us what your favorites are. Jen, you want to go ahead and dive in?
Yes, and I was just reading some of the comments, and I know we're really just diving into our topic for tonight for entrees, but I'm so glad Sherry mentioned how helpful this session was last week. And so I'll definitely, I'm sure Sharon and Sandy will be watching, and they'll be so pleased to know that you got your walking sticks and you're finding them helpful. And the first time you've been able to walk comfortably in over a year, that is just such a big deal, Sherry. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I will absolutely make sure to share that with our with Coach Sharon and also Coach Sandy, which I'm sure they may be hopping on tonight as well. I just haven't seen them.
Wonderful.
But yeah, so continue to keep posting, you guys, that you're here. And as we are, like Jen said, going through the different categories, make sure you do share your favorites, because we're going to go through a few. We're going to dive into double entrees first. And this is a really great strategy, especially if you are wanting something to really fill you up, which seems completely crazy to be full on a diet. But this is our goal, to have you guys satisfied. And another great reason for the double entrees is because variety. You know, we only have about, I think, 16 entrees. And so if you stick two different ones together, you can have a different flavor, or you can do two of the same. And I know that many of us are going to have our favorite entrees, right, Jen? I'm sure you have, I know you have your favorites. I can call them out. I have my own. And then we also have some that we don't really like, maybe at all, or just don't favor over others. And to be honest, you guys, some of my favorite combinations include my very least favorite entrees, but they're my favorite combinations because it just goes really well together. And we'll talk about some other combinations as we go. And I'll share my favorite combination here in just a moment too. And so we mentioned you can eat them both at the same time if you're wanting something very filling. Or if you want that different taste, you can mix them together and split them up and have it at another time later. And so such a great strategy. And to start us off, I'm going to share a recipe that I've done. I actually have not had this combination together, but also as we're going through these different entrees and how you can do them and different spices, there's so many different preparation methods. So notice what Jen and I think we've used many preparation methods. And so this first one, I did in the crock pot, because you all know I love my crock pot. Super easy, convenient. You can just throw everything in to the crock pot. So make sure you guys are continuing to share your favorite double entrees. But this one specifically is our vegetable stew with beef. So our vegetable stew with beef entree. And beef stroganoff. So if you've had this combination, talk about it. And we are specifically just doing the entrees, but I'm sure so many different combinations that you could do with fruits and vegetables. And so so good, delicious, looks so like a comfort food right now with it getting colder. Jen, I know we're both in Kentucky. It's supposed to get almost freezing tonight. So definitely a comfort food with, it's just a good hearty, almost looks like a vegetable beef stew with noodles, like a really good hearty veggie stew, and just delicious, and could double up on that. And anytime I make a recipe, I double it so that I'll have some for later. If you're already going through the work of, you know, cutting and doing some of the things, make a double batch so that you'll have it for later. Yeah, so crock pot is a preparation method, delicious combination, you guys, the beef stew and the beef stroganoff. And do we have anybody commenting on some of their favorite doubles?
We do. We have a lot of great ideas. Alicia says she really enjoys doing the double ravioli with the mushroom risotto. It's a new combination. Sherry, the barbecue chicken with rice and beans, and doing doubles for that. Gosh, risotto and stroganoff.
Now, who said that? Because that is my favorite combination. Sherry. Yeah. So Sherry, that is my favorite double combination. And I do not like the mushroom risotto on its own. And so just another plug that for variety, if there's an entree you don't like, bring it back in because you really could enjoy it with something else.
Yep, Jennifer has a recipe. She actually found it on the website for the barbecue chicken and chicken enchilada mixed with chili powder and a little Worcestershire sauce. Good one.
Some of those add-ins, they can make all the difference, right, Jen?
Great. So, Jen, you mentioned using the slow cooker, right? And how that's just so comforting to pull that out as the temperatures start to drop. That's one of my favorites too. But there are so many different ways that you can prepare the double entrees. We've been hearing a lot about air fryers and folks preparing the entrees in an air fryer. I don't have an air fryer, so I can't speak to it personally, but I've heard great ideas about the ravioli, the enchiladas. Of course, you can do them stovetop. You can bake them in the oven, stir fry them with veggies too. But lots of different ways that you can prepare them. And sometimes just the cooking method can really change the flavor and the texture of the entrees. And, if you add in other seasonings too, that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. And I do have an air fryer, and I put the lasagna and also ravioli, some of them more Italian because they're really good when they get thick and crispy. But I take it out of the plastic tray and put it in a glass Tupperware dish and then put it in there and just watch it. But it really just can make the difference. And so as we go through, make sure you guys are sharing different ways that you yourself have prepped these meals or different combinations that you've done, or not even different. I mean, who doesn't go through an entree and think, well, that just wasn't enough? And you get a big bowl of turkey chili with two of them, and it's very filling and satisfying. I know, Jen, we laughed because the ravioli, it's like, there's only like 5 in there, 4 or 5. I need more.
It feels like enough by itself.
Yep, just put it all together. Yep.
We also have, Nancy mentioned a recipe that I love too. It's the turkey chili with the chicken pasta parmesan combined together. That's just such a good one.
And she puts it in the
oven.
I have not done it that way. I just love it in the microwave, but I'm sure it does get a crunchy top. But that is good. So I'm seeing lots of different combinations that I've not had. And, I've been here at HMR for 13 years, going on 13 years. I know is it 14, 15 now?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah. And there's always, I don't think there's a combination that I've had that I didn't like. And I'm still seeing combinations that I've not done. I know, Rick, I may have to try your mushroom risotto with your whole grain medley. That's another one that I've not sampled.
Tiana says chicken parm and mac and cheese, the butternut squash mac and cheese. Delicious.
Great one. And I love how you guys are incorporating vegetables in these already. And so you all keep commenting your double entree recipes or strategies that you like, so that as we're going through, you all can get some different ideas as well. And if folks aren't able to watch live, you can of course see the comments after we're done tonight. And so Jen, do you want to go on to our next?
I do. And actually, Diane just commented, and it's a perfect lead-in. Diane said that she actually purees the entrees that have the wild rice, like the whole grain medley with chicken. And we were now going to kind of move right into entrees with low-calorie add-ins or combined with other HMR foods. And so I know a couple of weeks ago, even prior to that, we started talking a little bit about combining the entrees with the HMR chicken soup, because it's such a great way to get variety, but also to get a lot of volume, again, for really few calories. And a lot of the entrees do pair very, very nicely with the chicken soup. So just as an example, this is the whole grain medley with the chicken. And you could certainly puree that if you wanted to and add it to the chicken soup. But it makes just kind of a really nice chicken and rice soup, which is so nice when it starts to get cold. But you could do that also with the savory chicken entree and just dice the chicken up. It's really nice.
Yeah, there's almost endless possibilities. The mushroom risotto could be great in there. And if you're thinking, oh, I'd love to do that, but I don't have the HMR chicken soup, don't forget you can use low sodium broth as well, or any of chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable. So those loaded sodium broths, I can't talk, are actually a great add-in if you don't have the soup. And still seeing some really great recipes. And if you all want to, any of the entrees too, another preparation method, put them in the blender and puree them. So any of the Italian, the tomato base, make a really great tomato bisque. And if you've not done that, really, really great, especially cold season, fall season. So it's really great. I see some other folks joining us, Jen. We have Lynn, and we have Bernice and Jennifer, another Jennifer. So exciting to have you guys on. And so I see lots of folks doing some entrees with vegetables. And so we are going to get to that topic as well. But so many great things that you can do. And so, Jen, you just went through whole grain medley with the chicken soup. And my next combination will probably blow your minds. You may not have considered it ever, but I remember when we did it in the clinic, everyone would be so surprised. And if you were in my class, you had to try a taste of it. If you didn't like it, that was fine. You didn't have to eat anymore, or you could spit it out. You wouldn't hurt my feelings. But everyone was always so surprised with how much they really like this recipe. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, you guys. It is the mushroom risotto. And I don't think anyone would ever guess what the other meal replacement is that we're going to add to this. I know, Jen, you know. The multigrain hot cereal. Y'all are probably thinking, what? That is just craziness. So what you'll do is I made the cereal just like I would normally. So as the packet calls, the cereal. And again, I did a double batch because I always make a double batch of it because I want more for later on throughout the week. And you can stir in the mushroom risotto once you've prepared the cereal how you want to. And then you can heat it back up in the microwave so that the mushroom risotto and it all gets really good together. But it's just such a great, savory and sweet. And you can put some curry seasoning, curry powder in there, all kinds of different fruits and vegetables. But I do want to make sure I put a disclaimer in this for you guys. If you are a diabetic client, just make sure to split this up because it does have quite a bit of carbs with the cereal and also the rice in it. So just be careful. You may want to, pare this one down and not eat it all at one time. But could absolutely give you just a different flavor that none of our other entrees provide with the savory and the sweet. So if anybody's done this, I would dare to guess that probably no one has tried this. So this could be on your list of something new to really sample. And it is the multigrain hot cereal with the mushroom risotto. And another, like I mentioned, I don't like the mushroom risotto, but with these different combinations, I really do enjoy them. So let me know if you want to try that one.
Jen, you mentioned putting curry powder into that combination, which is so good. It just makes it really savory and it is super filling. I know there are just so many different things that are very low calorie that we can add to the entrees to really season them so that they taste the way that we enjoy them. So if you do have the HMR support guide, on page 43, you'll see a list, if you're in phase 1, of approved things that you can add to the entrees to really get a ton of variety. But again, not add a whole lot of extra calories. So Jen and I wanted to share some of our favorites with you all tonight. Jen, you want me to share some of mine?
Of course, go ahead.
Okay, so actually a client told me about this. She shared this with the group, that this was a seasoning that she really loved. She gets it at Trader Joe's. It's called Everything But the Elote. And it is my new favorite. It has chili pepper, chipotle, cumin, and some lime. So I love to put this with the enchiladas, but I also put it with like the ravioli. I'll put it pretty much on almost any of the entrees. I really love this one. We mentioned or actually one of the recipes that was mentioned talked about Worcestershire sauce. So low sodium Worcestershire is super in the beef stroganoff entree, which is my very favorite. So that's a really nice add-in. And then salsa, always good. Always good to add the salsa to lots of the different entrees as well. So those are some of my favorites. Jen, how about for you?
Gosh, it was hard to narrow just a few down because there's so many amazing spices out there and also different add-ins. But one that I have recently really fallen in love with, and I would not have thought on my own to find this one, but like you, I heard a client speaking of this, and this is one of the McCormick, the grill mates, and it's the smokehouse maple. It's really delicious. I love it in the beef stroganoff or even to flavor your vegetables with. This one's really just a really good, again, savory and sweet spice. One that we put almost on everything in our household. And I know this was a new one for you too, Jen. This is sazon. So it used to only be able to be found in where it had like the authentic foods in most grocery stores, but now they've moved it with the spices. And it's a really delicious one to add to any entree, any of your fruits and vegetables. And of course, one of my new favorite things to do with the chicken Alfredo, which I've seen some recipes coming through with the chicken Alfredo and some different vegetables. But if you're decision free, just some hot sauce with the chicken Alfredo. It's really, really good. And I know Tabasco, that brand, they have so many different flavors of different hot sauces that could really make a difference too. But we could almost talk all night about the different add-ins that you could do.
Yes. Real quickly, Susan asked what this was again. So I want to just show it one more time. And I may be pronouncing it incorrectly. I always say everything but the elote, but that may be incorrect. And then Alicia has a suggestion. She says Dan O's seasoning is great.
Right. And I couldn't find my everything but the bagel, that seasoning. I really enjoyed that one too. And I think I must just be out of it because I use it so frequently, but that's another great one. And I get that at, I think Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. That's where I found that one there.
Yep. One more thing, I forgot to mention this. Some of you may have seen some of these in the freezer section at your grocery store, but there's ginger, garlic. I also have basil, and those are so easy to keep in the freezer. All you do is, they're on a little blister pack. So you just punch them out, put them right into the entree and the veggies or whatever your combination is, just to really season it up.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
It's super easy. And so as you guys are hearing us, I know so many of you are using different spices and seasonings because each group I get so many different ideas just from running the coaching sessions. And so make sure you guys are sharing some of your favorites as well and some things that you've done with the specific add-ins. I know there's the popcorn seasonings that you can do that can add a lot of different flavors. And I always like to periodically, like Jennifer mentioned, the support guide, but going to that page and just refreshing my mind and my memory, because we get stuck in doing the same old things, the same spices, and we can forget some of the great add-ins that we can do. And so even if you're in phase 2, if it's been a little bit since you've been in phase 1, I mean, who doesn't want to cut some calories and get more flavors? And so making sure you're using that. So
sorry, I had a request.
Yeah.
This again.
Go ahead.
Basil. You can see the back. They're just little frozen herbs and spices.
And you do you get those in the frozen section, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I haven't seen them in the refrigerator section. So, all right. So now it is time to go for healthy solutions And phase two, of course, and if you're decision free and you're on here and we're talking about fruits and vegetables, jot it down because you're going to be incorporating fruits and vegetables at some point. And so it'll be really nice to have a sense of what you're going to do when you get to that point. And again, with the entrees, to provide such an easy way to add variety, and the fruits and vegetables, you can do so many things with them. And I tell my folks all the time to use the entrees almost like a starter for a plate. You know how they have soup starters in the frozen section that you can start soups? Have it be like a meal creation. Like, what can you do with this meal, this entree, and create something that you can really look forward to? Because you can only eat something out of a black tray for, you know, it loses its excitement. So jazz it up, fix it. And so my recipe that I want to share with you guys is actually in the recipe book, and all the recipes that we're going to share will be in the comments after this this event, probably later on tonight. So check back for any of those recipes, but majority of them are either on our site or on our in the recipe book. So the first one that I want to share with you guys is made with the cheese and basil ravioli. So a vegetarian entree of ours. And you're going to have some sliced mushrooms, some cut up red peppers. We have minced garlic. So you can find that in the refrigerator section. And here's a little trick that I'm going to give to you guys because I'm all about convenience. It calls for onions, and any recipe that ever calls for onions, I normally use just frozen chopped onions. And I get this from Kroger, but you again can find this in the frozen section. But it just cuts down on you frying and cutting your onions, and you know, it stays for a long time because it's in the oven. And so you saute your vegetables in this on the stovetop. So another preparation method, sauteing on the stovetop. And then you add your ravioli. And it also has spaghetti squash in there. So here in just a moment, I'm going to share with you guys spaghetti squash, because I know that can be an intimidating one. But again, I did a double batch because I like to have extra. And I mean, does that look like something that's on a diet? I don't think so. And so you just saute those things, and then you will want to prepare the spaghetti squash ahead of time. And this is the season for squashes. And I know that they're intimidating vegetables, Jen, wouldn't you say? What to do with them? Yeah. And so with the spaghetti squash, and it's called spaghetti squash because it really does come out just like spaghetti. So you can cut it in half, so long ways, cut the spaghetti squash in half, and go ahead and scrape out the seeds. I honestly use a grapefruit spoon. If you all haven't seen it, it's one of those spoons that has the rough edges. I use it for almost everything to get seeds out of all my squashes, not just for grapefruits. And you can put this flat side down in the microwave. If you have a casserole dish or something, you can put it flat down in the microwave. And for 10 to 12 minutes, I prefer the oven because I had a bad experience with the spaghetti squash in the microwave. So I prefer doing it in the oven. And I put it on 400 and face down for about 40 minutes. And then once it's done, if you all haven't had a spaghetti squash, I'm going to share this with you guys. Like, it just scrapes out and it looks like spaghetti noodles. Can you all see that? And you just have spaghetti. And so it just comes out with a whole big bowl of spaghetti. So I'll share this with you guys. If you've not done that, try it. It's super easy. Intimidating, I know, but most of the squashes can be prepared that way, how we just mentioned. And so then you end up putting the spaghetti squash inside of the skillet. I'll show you guys one more time. I know this is going to be a favorite. And if you don't like mushrooms, leave them out. If you don't like an ingredient that's in the suggested recipe, just leave it out. It's fine. And then of course you have salt and pepper in that one. So if that sounds appealing to you guys, make sure to add it to your grocery list and put it in the comments and let us know if you're going to try this.
That looked great. We've got lots of people who are sharing some great recipes. I think people get excited when we start to add in these veggies with the entrees. Sherry has mentioned the lentil stew combined with bag of steamed corn, right? So easy, lots of volume. Also, the rotini Alfredo with pasta entree has been mentioned several times. I've seen some ideas to do sauteed peppers and onions with that, mushrooms, tomatoes, or spinach. Really nice suggestions.
And we have some folks joining us. We have Denise, and we also have Chris and Diana joining us. So hi, you guys. Make sure to continue to say hello as you guys are hopping on, and give us a like or a love if you're loving a recipe, if it sounds like something that you want to do. And I know, Jen, you have prepared some additional veggie with entrees combos.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you just did a ravioli combination, which you mentioned was one of our vegetarian entrees. And I don't know if it was just coincidence or what, but I have a couple others that kind of fall into the same category. And the first uses the butternut squash mac and cheese. And again, this is an entree that it can be a good standalone, but for a lot of folks, it's so much better. It really comes to life when it's combined with lots of different kinds of vegetables. So there is a recipe. This is from the recipe book. It's actually on page 58, but it's the baked broccoli pasta. And it's so easy. So again, it's the butternut squash mac and cheese entree. You don't need to add much to this at all. I added a little bit of smoked paprika, some red chili pepper flakes to it, and then some broccoli. And I did just what you did, Jen. I do a double batch and baked it in the oven. And you bake it at 350 for about 20 minutes. But what makes it really nice, I think, is that at the very end, if you just put it on broil for like 30 to 40 seconds, the top starts to brown a little bit and it gets a little bit crunchy. And so that just adds a little bit of extra flavor to it. So my husband actually saw me putting this together tonight, and he said he was calling dibs on that for lunch tomorrow. So done, consider it done. But yeah, I did a double. So that was the first one. And then the other recipe that we wanted to share uses the lentil stew entree. So again, this is another one of our vegetarian entrees, very versatile, but something that I think sometimes people are a little bit maybe afraid to try because it just seems a little bit different. You're not quite sure what to do with it. So this again is another recipe from the recipe book. It's actually on page 55 if you have that. But this is very easy. All you do is you take low sodium chicken broth and add onions and diced bell pepper to that, simmer it for about 10 minutes, and then you add in your lentil stew entree and some diced mango. So I just got frozen mango chunks. You can add these to shakes too, and it's really good, but you can see them kind of through the back of the package. But I got frozen, diced them up, you put that in the pan, add some cilantro to it, garlic powder, chili powder, and again, this is a double entree, but look how much food this makes, and it's just beautiful. Smells really good. So, again, just lots of variety, really, really filling for very, very few calories, and you can make it, eat half of it now, save half of it to have at another time. If you're really hungry, just tuck in.
Yeah. I would like that one to go, Jen.
Okay, I'll box it up for you.
Box it up. We're ready.
As
I know we're not talking about the holidays, but the broccoli with the mac and cheese made in the oven, it reminds me of broccoli casserole. So I know so many times we have that at holidays, and I don't even want to think of the calories in that, but that could be a really good substitute. So we'll have to keep that in mind as we're prepping for the holidays too. Looks delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people saying that they're liking the mushroom risotto, finding it to be very versatile.
Mhm.
Add a little bit of Mexican spices to that. The turkey chili with extra onions and tomatoes. That's from Diane.
And Donna made a really good point because I know this spaghetti squash, acorn squash, they're really hard to cut. And she mentioned that she has a hard time and she takes it to the butcher counter and they'll cut them in half and then they'll wrap them up. So that's a really great strategy because I didn't know they would do that. So that's really nice because I know that's one of the reasons why sometimes folks don't get the squashes because they are hard to cut. I know I've been fearful about cutting. I mean, they're hard. So that's a great tip. Thank you so much, Donna, for sharing that.
Yeah. So I also just want to mention that we've talked and shared some recipes that are in the HMR recipe book, but of course, you know, the Facebook page is full of great recipes that you all are sharing, and the HMR diet site. And we also have Pinterest. So you can always go to Pinterest and look for HMR program and find lots and lots of additional recipes there.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you guys have found some things that you want to try. Maybe something a little bit different that you haven't considered in the past. And so, Jen, do you want to go on to our accountability?
Sure, a little accountability spotlight. So as we're wrapping up the HMR Entree episode tonight, we really want to know if you heard something that you want to sample this week. So you can comment below. You can let us know what recipe you're going to try out and the preparation method that you're going to sample. And then next week, we'll be able to check in and see how that went, see if you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So if you're wanting to sample, make sure to comment and continue to come back because there's so many different recipes coming through with different add-ins as well as different vegetables that people are adding. And our goal tonight was to support each of you with the HMR entrees and the variety. Not only do they really taste great, and if you're not a fan of them, then create something that you like with the spices and the vegetables and the fruits if you have those. And they're super convenient. Like we mentioned earlier, portion controlled, and they make it really easy to have a very low calorie, filling meal that we can go to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed doing it with you guys. And next week, make sure to tune in because Rick is back as well as Coach Nancy. So Coach Nancy and Coach Rick are going to be doing the episode next week. And they're actually going to be connecting with some of our HMR members and helping them share their inspiring weight loss success stories. So you're not going to want to miss next week. But we hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I'm sure we'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.